Mary Maslowski. I am the chairperson of the Harwich Historic District and Historical Commission. I'd like to call to order a special meeting for Wednesday, September 25th. It's 6 p.m. We are here at the Griffin Room at Town Hall at 732 Main Street. As required by law, I'd like to notify everyone that we are audio and video taping this meeting. If anyone else in the audience chooses to audio or videotape the meeting, you're required to inform the chair at this time. Hearing none, then we will call to order the meeting. I'd like to just start with a roll call.
Brendan Loney.
Jean Steiner.
Bob Doan.
So we are going to reopen the public hearing, which was continued from September 18th. It is HH 2019-19. It's a certificate of appropriateness, which has been received for 711 Main Street, map 41, parcel D8 in the C-V zone in the Harwich Center Historic District. The application proposes new or modifications of features relating to doors, lights, parking, and signage. The application is pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 40C, Section 6, 711 Main Street, LLC owner, Samil Patel, applicant. Gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi.
Please state your name for the record.
For the record, my name is Howard Cahoon. I'm the attorney for the petitioner. The petitioner is to my right, Samil Patel.
Good evening.
Is four people enough?
So this is a quorum for our hearing, and we are the only four people on the commission that are able to finalize this at this point.
Super.
So we are good to move forward.
Yeah, and so we're back before you this evening in hopes of getting some closure here. We've addressed some of the issues that you brought up. Number one, the gutters are enclosed in wood. They drain into a filtration system which goes around the building all the way out into the back to collect the drainage there. We have also addressed the sign, I think, in more detail than in the past. It'll be wooden. It'll be hung by wrought iron. We have enclosed the dumpster without the spiked tops. We've made them flush, as you suggested. I think it's an improvement. The utility pole is gone. Wasn't necessary. Was a added thing that we didn't need. I think that
The windows, interior and exterior grills.
oh yeah, the windows, the interior and exterior windows have grills on both sides.
Perfect.
Now, I think there was also a question about the placement of the large sign in front. Was that still?
So that's going to go over to the right of the driveway? As you're going out of the driveway?
So as you're coming out, it'll be on the right, so.
Correct.
Right, in other words, between the properties.
Correct.
Okay.
And did we determine what our setback is on that from the street? Are we closer to the street, or?
10 feet away.
I think
don't know that I saw it on the plan.
we're trying to keep in the same perspective as the accompanying buildings to the left.
You have to be 10 feet away.
Oh, we have to be 10 feet off the lot line.
Yeah, it's in the bylaws, I think, too.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It'd be separate from what
It's
we're,
marked like
And
first
I think the plan is marked on the first sheet that it is 10 feet.
Okay.
So that'll be 10 feet back from the
Correct.
right-of-way.
Correct.
You're showing no lighting on the signs?
No lighting.
Okay, good.
I'm sorry, you said no lighting
Correct.
on the signs?
No lighting.
Okay. And that's on either the overhanging or the
Yeah.
Neither
the
one.
post?
Neither one.
Okay. So any other questions from members from the board?
So I just, for clarification, the hanging sign is going to be facing Main Street, hanging off the
It's
center
gonna
of
go
the...
out perpendicular from the building.
Perpendicular,
From the
okay.
building.
Yeah, you
Perfect.
see it on page
Oh.
2. It's
Oh,
right here,
perfect.
right there.
That's great.
Right,
Yeah.
all right, and so the other one will be a standing sign.
Correct.
Any other questions or concerns from the board?
Just to verify, I know we talked about these lights before, but the lights, I see non-luminous crown, and there will actually be no spill whatsoever off the property.
That's my understanding.
So
And
the bulbs themselves won't be visible or
Correct.
anything, they're up high enough, so
Correct.
they won't. And same with the recessed lighting around the sides.
Exactly.
Anything else from the board? Anything from the public? If you'd like to, please go to the podium and state your name so everybody can hear you, Greg.
Hey, you want to say this?
No, I'm fine. I think everybody can hear me.
Greg, I need you to go to the podium
You
for
have to be
the,
on-
for the tape.
You're on tape.
I apologize, but I missed the last meeting, so I'm not exactly sure. I have a brief question. If there's to be no lighting on the sign, is the sign illuminated from the building? Or how is the sign illuminated?
No lighting.
Well, we're not sure how it's gonna look, so we're gonna come back for the lights, once we have the sign.
If we need some
lights.
lights, we would have to come back. But right now, we plan no lights.
Okay, and I have one more question, and I'm sure it's already been addressed, but I have to ask. Interior lighting that's visible from the sidewalk, as in signs from cabinets and that sort of thing, have we already addressed the fact that that won't be seen, that kind of thing won't be seen from the sidewalk? And I say that, I only ask because I know and I understand the liquor store, got Budweiser signs, and we say, well, no neon signs in the windows, so to speak, but then you don't cover the windows, but the neon sign is a foot away from the window. I just want to make sure that those kinds of things have been addressed on behalf of the residents of the village and the historic village.
So I believe there's a town regulation for no neon signs.
Well, we have a time regulation about that. However, in this town, things don't get policed. And there are a few of them, and it was, during my tenure on the board, kind of complicated because you couldn't say to one gentleman he could take his sign, had to take his sign down when another sign still stands. So I just was wondering if we need any clarification about that sort of thing.
Well, we don't.
I'm in favor of this project, don't get me wrong. I just want to make sure that these little things, because this is our town after all.
I'm not sure we have jurisdiction on inside signs.
I don't know that
on
we
the
do.
wall.
I don't know that we do either.
Yeah,
And I know in Nantucket, this is how they get around it. They put the beer sign inside.
It's
on the
just
wall.
it's a word of caution. I just think that
No,
I wanted to bring it up.
Well taken.
Okay, that's all. Thank you. I think you've done a wonderful job with the redesign. I appreciate your patience.
Thank you very much.
Any other
And all-
questions?
You guys.
Any other questions? So the understanding is that if you decide to light the outdoor signs, you would need to come back in.
Absolutely.
And again, my understanding is that there is a prohibition from neon signs within the town of Harwich. So hopefully you're able to comply with that and not run afoul of that. But I do think Mr. Doan is correct. I do think that is the purview of the building inspector and not,
Right.
unfortunately, us. We are limited to the streetscape of the building and what we see on the outside design. That being said, what is the board's pleasure? Is the board comfortable with the information that we have before us to vote on the application as it stands? Or is there a need to continue it further for additional information?
No, I'm fine. I'd like to make a motion to
All right.
approve.
So first, we need to move to
Okay.
close
Okay.
the chair would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I so move.
Second.
Jean has made the motion, Brendan has seconded. All those in favor of closing the public hearing?
Aye.
Aye.
It is unanimous, 4-0. So now the chair would entertain a motion on the underlying application.
I move to approve the application for the 7-Eleven Main Street, based on the plans of 9/6/2019's, with the additional comments submitted of, do you want me to specify them, the grills on both sides of the windows? Signs are not illuminated. Gutters are enclosed in wood and fed into a drainage system. Was there anything else?
Dumpster
Flat
fence.
top.
Oh, and the
Fencing.
dumpster fence with the flat top fencing.
And utility pole.
Yeah, and then utility pole is removed.
We covered, the plans cover the wrought iron sign overhanging,
Yes.
and we also talked about the standing sign as needing to be 10 feet from the right-of-way.
Right.
Right.
And we also discussed no lighting overspilling the property.
Correct.
So I think those cover everything. Anybody else?
And no lighting on either sign. Did you already cover that?
Yeah, I think,
We did, okay.
no, didn't, make sure.
No lighting on either side. Okay, so, there's a motion to approve the application for 7-Eleven Main Street based on the plans dated 9/6/2019, with the additional statements from this evening's hearing: grills on both sides of the windows, signs not being illuminated, gutters enclosed in wood and draining towards the back of the property, the dumpster having a flat top fencing without the spikes, utility pole being removed, no lighting on either sign, and no lighting spilling off of the property. Is there a second?
I'll second.
The motion's been made by Bob, seconded by Jean. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? It is unanimous.
Hey, guys.
Thank you. If you have further changes, we will see you back. Good luck. Thanks so
you.
much.
Good luck.
Thanks for coming, Greg. So, the next item on our agenda is a review of the CPC application. My understanding from Mr. Doan is that he has further revised it to add in some suggested clusters that would be looked at as a part of the project. I know you folks voted on it last week. And that's, it looks great to me. If we'd like to vote again to approve the additional information that Bob's included with the attachment A, which was the budget, attachment B, which is the suggested areas of interest and the suggested clusters. Chair would entertain discussion or a motion or whatever you folks would like to do.
And I don't think we're married to these clusters,
Right.
and we still have to vet them to see if it's practical, would it be affordable, and certainly, I think we can add more, but this is a representative of ones we've already have been cited or looked at.
And Mary, any issues if I own one of the properties in the cluster?
Not for the, that's a good question.
You might just have to,
You can file a disclosure if you like,
Yeah, we'll just file a disclosure.
and I think that should cover you. Although if you would like to recuse yourself, you can, because we could still vote as a number of members
Yeah, maybe
Present
we should just do that.
present and voting. So if you feel the need to recuse yourself, you can. So, thoughts?
Well, I think Bob did a great job.
Did a great
Well, I
job.
think
pulling
Bob
this
did a
together.
fantastic
This
job
is
pulling this
really
together.
Nice.
It's
Took a lot of time, I'm sure.
nice to get a shot at the piece of the pie. Get some of that money back, to kind of
Yes.
finish what, had been started and not completed. Then the chair would entertain a motion, if, the board so chooses, to approve the changes to the application and to, authorize the chair to sign the application, and send it in to CPC with a cover letter, indicating our, desire for the funding to start the project.
Also move.
All right, it's been moved by Jean. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Jean, seconded by Bob.
And just so there's a clarification on my end, I'll just file a disclosure, because then I wouldn't, if I recuse myself today, I wouldn't be able to vote on this. So
Well, it wouldn't make a difference.
wouldn't make a difference, only when that comes up.
And yeah, because we haven't actually voted on that property.
Perfect, yep.
So it's not saying that we're
Yeah, I
gonna
think
do
it's
that.
just, yeah,
These are just suggested ones we can look at.
perfect, yeah.
But we certainly still have, so in the situation of a recusal, there's still, it's the number of members present and voting.
Yeah.
So if you choose to abstain or choose to recuse on a situation, we're still okay to vote it.
Perfect.
Okay.
perfect, Yeah. I can
So.
do either one or file the disclosure. Got it.
That's fine.
Perfect.
And then you're covered.
Mhm.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table to approve. It's been seconded by Mr. Joan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any in opposition? Are you recusing, abstaining, voting?
Voting.
You're voting.
I'll just file the disclosure.
Okay. Okay, so we are good to go. Anything else? Anybody would like to? We will have matters before us next month. Thank you for coming out tonight and suffering the extra meeting. I will, if anybody wants anything on the agenda for the next time around, let me know and we'll get it there. Next meeting should be,
Where's the calendar?
I think it's I don't know
Wow.
if it's disappeared or it's gone.
I got you.
Used to always be right there.
16th?
16th, yeah.
16th.
The third Wednesday will be the 16th, so we will see you on the 16th at 6 PM. By that time, Bob will have an update for us on the number of CPC applications that have gone forward, so.
Right. But we have not heard of any other historic ones yet.
Chase Library,
How
Just
about
Chase
the
Library.
Chase? Is that definitely going?
We assume so,
Yeah,
but we don't
I
know
would-
that.
that's the only other one so far.
Just the front door, Chase.
Yeah,
Yes.
And nothing from Captain's Row?
we don't know yet.
Nothing that we've
Well,
heard
I
of
think
yet.
with that being turned over to Cape Cod Commission,
Yeah, that might.
that's going to be a big analysis,
Yeah.
I think, so.
Anything?
No.
Chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.